in average in the National League. Gregor Blanco will lead things off, followed by a Rookie of the Year candidate, Matt Duffy. Then Brandon Belt, red hot in August. Hunter Pence, the right fielder, batting cleanup. Brandon Crawford, a breakout season offensively for the slick fielding shortstop. Andrew Suzak, this is his first start since July 18th when he sprained his right thumb. He's off the DL in the lineup. Justin Maxwell is in left field. Kelby Tomlinson, their second baseman, and Chris Heston, the pitcher. On the bench for Bruce Bochy's club, switch hitter, one lefty and two righties, and one of them a good one in Buster Posey. Michael Wacha getting the call tonight. His record stands at 14-4 as he will face Gregor Blanco to lead it off.
He's tied for the most wins in the National League with 14. Garrett Cole is also going today, but he's losing 3-0 as the Pirates fall behind Arizona at home. Michael Wacha, he wants a little revenge. The last pitch that he threw ended the Cardinals season last year. Travis Ichikawa hit that 3-run home run in the playoffs. Different story right now.
And the first pitch is a strike, and we're underway. The Giants, a very good road team in terms of their offense, averaging nearly 5 runs a game on the road. And quickly, no balls, 2 strikes. Notice the last time out for Michael Wacha, always works fast, but he was as fast as we had seen him this year against Pittsburgh.
He's facing a club that is 500, 29-29 on the road, but like you said, they could score some runs. They just came off a sweep of the Washington Nationals, and they hit really well in that series. The last 3 games they had 25 runs on 33 hits.
Here's a 1-2, and it's popped up into shallow center. Going out Johnny Peralta, and he puts it away. Michael Wacha, the Hyundai pitch arsenal, always think about a very good fastball and a tremendous changeup.
And he's mixed in the cutter and the sinker a little bit, but to me, we're starting to see a little bit more dominance with that changeup as a secondary pitch, and that's I think that bodes well for him.
Here is Matt Duffy hitting .306, 9th best in the National League. League leader is Paul Goldschmidt at .337. Remember, they lost Pablo Sandoval to free agency to the Boston Red Sox. They signed Casey McGee, let him go, and they're thankful they did because Duffy's had a tremendous start to his career at third base for the Giants.
Yeah, little big returns for his $509,000 salary. Sandoval has not really answered the bell for the Red Sox, who paid him, what, 5-year, $95 million contract. But this kid is, you say he is much like Matt Carpenter. He's just a guy that loves to play the game and play it right.
There's that breaking ball taken low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We did see him in postseason play last year. Overall, he had 60 at bats, but is still considered a rookie. You have fewer than 130 ABs, 50 innings pitched, or 45 days on the roster, the active roster, you are still the following year considered a rookie.
It's a little deceiving the way they use relievers today. Might have to adjust that innings.
That pitch was up and hammered out to left, but Brandon Moss is there. Cardinals defense presented by Dobbs. Moss in left. Hayward, his 22nd career start in center field. Piscotty is in right. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Reynolds on the infield. Molina is behind home plate. That's presented by Dobbs. So Jason Hayward is in for the injured Randall Grichuk.
Grichuk put on the disabled list this afternoon with an elbow strain. Asked Hayward about playing center field, and he says no problem. Got plenty of experience there, and his 2 home runs were very nice to see yesterday.
It's Speaking of home runs, that's what Brandon Belt has been able to do. The first baseman for the Giants. 7 home runs in August. He had 7 home runs in May. And a total of 17 this year. Last Giants first baseman to have 7 homers in the month of August. Have to go back to 1999 to J.T. Snow. Very good player. Great defensive player. Of course, we miss his dad, Jack Snow, who was working on the Rams broadcast for years. I think of J.T. Snow in postseason play picking up Darren Baker, trying to cross home plate. Darren Baker was, at the time, I think 6 or 7 years old, the bat boy for the Giants, and he came racing in, and Darren was doing what he thought was right, going to get the bat, except the ball was still in play and runners were coming. And they were coming at home plate where he was picking up the bat. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for a walk-off. Cardinals coming up in the Cardinals lineup this evening. Matt Carpenter, Vic Colton and Johnny Peralta, followed by Jason Hayward batting cleanup. He's hitting .327 at home this year. Then Yadier Molina, Stephen Piscotty, Brandon Moss has started left. Reynolds and Walkup on the bench, all right-handed. Borges, Cosma, Cruz, and Pham. Pham called up for the injured Richard. And the first pitch is a strike from Chris Heston.
11-game winner. This rookie was really not even a factor in spring training, but with some of their injuries, he got the call, and he also threw a no-hitter. His no-hitter for the Giants was the first in 103 years. Primarily a sinker ball pitcher, 27 years of age, and mentioned that he has better success at home, and he struggled a little bit in August.
And Carpenter hits that out of play. First in 103 years by a rookie.
A rookie for the Giants, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Cain's perfect game, and Tim Lincecum twice no-hit the San Diego Padres.
I believe they've had 17 in their career in the franchise.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. The last rookie to throw a no-hitter prior to Heston at Citi Field was Clay Buchholz. Did that in 2007 with the Boston Red Sox. But you're right. Where would the Giants be without him? Did not break camp with the 25-man roster that made it to the big leagues. Matt Cain went on the DL, then Heston got the call up. That's driven into right for a base hit. What does Chris Heston feature? A look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Really, you think about the sinker and the curveball, and that's really pretty much what he used in that no-hitter. It was a majority of sinkers. That's what he's known for. He'll get a high percentage of ground balls, so when he does give up a hit, they always feel he has the next pitch the ability to get that twin killing.
And you wonder if the Cardinals, because of Posey being out, Posey's throwing better this year than he has all season long. Susac just activated from the DL, and the fact that Heston gets all these ground balls, would they be more aggressive in trying to avoid double plays? He has induced 22 double plays on the ground this year, third highest in all of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you have to run against him. Get a good jump. You have to be moving.
There's a fly ball lifted out to left. Justin Maxwell puts it away for out number 1. Look at the Giants defensively. Maxwell is in left. Blanco, very good defender, in center. Hunter Pence is in right. Duffy, Crawford, Tomlinson, Belt along the infield. Susac is behind the plate. That's presented by Dobbs. Here's Johnny Peralta.
And that no-hitter that Heston threw was June 9th. Struck out 11 and hit 3 Mets hitters. But he threw 66 sinkers and 30 curveballs out of his 110 pitches.
only 2 of the outs, 2 of the 27 recorded in the air. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Johnny Peralta. Breaks his bat. Crawford to his left. Only play across the diamond. Wanted to get 2. And he wanted to flip to Tomlinson, but didn't take that chance. And Carpenter in scoring position.
It looked like Crawford may not have had the handle on it, so as he gets there, but he shows his tremendous range. He went to flip it there, and then Carpenter was a little too close to the bag, so he tried to get the sure out at first base. But Brandon Crawford leading with home runs and RBIs and National League shortstops, but he's noted for his glove, and he's a good one.
Hayward with 2 home runs yesterday. Strike 1. Mentioned that Hayward is hitting .327 here at Busch Stadium. 8th best home average in the National League. .288 overall after a horrendous start for the Cardinals center fielder tonight. Of concern for the Giants. Chris Heston pitching this deep into a season, which he basically has not had to do pitching in the minor leagues. And in the month of August, his ERA is close to 6. He's 0-2. It's signs of wearing down just a bit.
Yeah, I looked at his innings pitched last year. He's like 170 plus. So it's not so much that, but it's that extra month of activity. Talk about the minor league systems. I know their Cardinals season's over the 7th of September, but most of the time it's right around the end of August. And for young pitchers, the first time they experience pitching in September, or in the case of both these clubs, late into October, it does take a toll. And there's a good pitching coach in Righetti.
Popped up off the bat of Hayward near the Giants dugout and out of play. Dave Righetti's been around a long time.
Boy, he's done it all. You know, he's from an outstanding starting pitcher to a closer, long-time pitching coach, and I think that really kind of speaks well for the Giants. The longevity they've had with their staff. You know, that guys in the front office have been there. You know, then you've got Bochy, his 9th year here. Same thing with many of his coaches. They've been around a long time and really has cemented. They do things right, and people know what is expected of the Giants now when they come up through their system.
Righetti now in his 16th season in San Francisco. There's a look at Bruce Bochy.
There's a Hall of Famer.
I would agree. 2-2 pitch. But Righetti now the longest tenured pitching coach in the big leagues. 16 years, and he had a 16-year pitching career.
Well, think about it. You talk about 16 years, the longest tenured pitching coach, and then Dave Duncan was like twice that.
29 years. So almost twice the time that Righetti's been there.
And I think that people thought that was going to be the biggest loss, but Derek Lilliquist has done a great job.
74 miles an hour. Hayward swings through it. First strikeout for Chris Heston. And there's no score. Hunter Pence, Brandon Crawford, Andrew Susac. Pence came over from the Phillies back in 2012. He's had back-to-back seasons of playing in every single game for San Francisco. Former second-round choice of Houston in 2004. No balls and 2 strikes. Pence with 9 home runs. He has driven in 40, hitting .281. He would make Coffee nervous. He's jumping all over the place.
Oh, he's put together a nice career. Remember when he first showed up with the Astros, and very unorthodox, but he gets the job done.
And he strikes out. Number 2 for Michael Wacha.
Michael Wacha, when he has command, you know, and a lot of times we talk about fastball command. That's the most important thing. But if he gets ahead, then he could throw that little breaking ball, the cutter, the curveball, whatever you want to call them. You know, keep him off the plate like that. You get a free swinger like Pence to get himself out most of the time. Here's the guy you got to be careful with, though.
132 hits for Brandon Crawford, as Al mentioned. Really known for his glove. Outstanding defender with great range. But those 132 hits, 5th in the National League. 49 have gone for extra bases. He's busted out with 19 home runs this year. 72 RBIs. That's 8th in the National League. Buster Posey, by the way, leads your club with 78.
And he has a 10-game hitting streak working, too.
Always liked him as a player.
Well, you got his glove is what we first noticed. And when you have a pitching-rich tradition like the Giants have, they have a lot of good gloves. But now you incorporate his offense with that good glove. Now you got a great all-around player.
There's Buster Posey, who's played a lot of first base as well as catcher, trying to make sure he stays fresh. The 2-2. Held on to by Molina. 3 strikeouts in a row for Michael Wacha.
Wacha can do that. You know, he can get on a little bit of a roll. One of his biggest strikeout games. And I'm talking about the one time where he struck out the first 9 batters against the Mets and then didn't get out of the 5th inning. And he had another one like that.
There's Colton Wong to his right. Nice play. They had a shift on for Susac, and he hits right into it. Good to see Colton make that play.
He knew something was wrong. He said they were discussing the option of keeping him on the bench while he worked through this and letting him pinch hit. But he said the team medical staff felt it was too risky. The plan is to completely shut him down for a few days, see how the elbow responds, and go from there. Obviously, a big loss for the Cardinals because he was a red-hot hitter, Dan. Over his last 34 games, Grichuk was hitting .320, 8 homers, 19 extra base hits.
The question I have, though, Jim, is what about swinging the bat as opposed to throwing? So if he comes back, he can baby it along with the arm, but how does it affect swinging the bat?
No, it didn't bother. The elbow didn't bother him swinging the bat, but he said he talked it over with the medical staff, and he said he could take a bad swing at a changeup and pop something, so they felt like it wasn't worth the risk, so they're just shutting him down, Dan.
Here is Stephen Piscotty. What do we know about Matt Adams?
Adams will be heading to the Cardinals complex in Jupiter Thursday or Friday to resume baseball-related activities. Dan, he could jump in with games there. They have a medical staff there, and John Mozeliak just felt like that's the best place for him right now in terms of him making the most progress.
Yeah, we saw him running earlier today here at the ballpark. Looked to be full speed in the outfield and looked carefree and easy, so that's good news. How about Matt Holliday?
Matt Holliday isn't as far along as Matt Adams, according to John Mozeliak. There was some talk that maybe he would join Adams in Florida. Not at this point, according to John Mozeliak. In terms of running, Holliday is not where Matt Adams is, so they're going to just take it easy with Holliday.
And the final question, Jim, would be Adam Wainwright, watching him play catch in the outfield today.
Yeah, and he's running, and he's doing a lot of the things. I asked John Mozeliak, who said he looks at Wainwright as rehabbing for next season. I said, Wainwright's made a lot of progress since we last spoke. Have you revisited that at all based on what Adam's doing? And he said he doesn't want to count out Adam Wainwright, but he has obviously a lot of medical hurdles yet to clear.
Jimmy, great stuff. Thank you. 3-2 the count here on Stephen Piscotty. And he did go, a strikeout. The second for Chris Heston.
I mentioned the no-hitter that Heston had 11 strikeouts, and you can see that throw a four-seamer up in the zone, a little cutter times up there, and when when you're so used to working at the bottom of the zone and you're thinking about that, then you can elevate the ball there. You'll get some swing and misses. My question, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Is I know, in September 1st you can expand your rosters, but it really becomes a tricky proposition if people start counting on some of these guys that have been out for 3-4 months and thinking, and with no minor league season to get their game ready. That's, it's going to be a little, even if you get them back and they think they can play, are they game ready?
Here's a 1-1. We saw Holiday when he came back, and I guess it was 9 or 10 games that he was back. His timing wasn't quite right.
Exactly. So, think about it. Adams, he's been out for.
Moss hits into the shift and right past Tomlinson and a base hit into right. Been a tough go for Brandon Moss. He's now 6 for 35 wearing that Cardinal uniform.
Well, but maybe, when you're struggling, you just hope for one hit. Sometimes you get a little flare or quail. This is a hard hit ball. Tomlinson, they say that he's not a very good defensive ball player. He's got a nice bat, but he's not there for his glove. And, of course, they missed the all-star second baseman, Panic, who was gone to Arizona to have his back checked out by a new specialist.
And now it's Reynolds. They can't catch a break with those backs in the second baseman. Marco Scutaro.
Yep.
Panic. They're missing some pretty big names, whether it be in the rotation or everyday lineup. There's a look at the hit speed, but Tim Lincecum is out with hip issues. Panic the lower back. Angel Pagan with a knee. So Aoki's another one with concussion.
I think they're talking the possibility of getting Aoki back on Thursday, and there he is. But this is an interesting road trip for the Giants because they play the 3 games here, then they go to Pittsburgh for 3 over the weekend.
2 good teams to face.
Exactly.
Here's a 1-1 to Mark Reynolds. Matter of fact, now the Giants and Bruce Bochy, they've started out first 10 games of a really tough stretch, 5-5. They have 26 games in a row in which they don't face a team that's under 500. So this really could define their season right now. The 2-1.
Well, they got a guy named Bumgarner who
he's superhuman.
Just was named the National League Player of the Week. He had two games. Yesterday was a shutout. He hit a home run in it, struck out 14. And the other start he had last week, he allowed 1 run in a complete game. And they said that's what really saved their bullpen. Their bullpen was on fumes when they got swept 4 games on their last road trip in Chicago to end that. They said they just had no chance. But with Bumgarner's 2 complete games last week, they feel like the bullpen's in pretty good shape.
3-2. There goes Moss, and it's fouled back. So 18 innings, 26 strikeouts in the 2 games.
1 run allowed.
Man, he was so good last year in the postseason. Historic all-time record for workload. 52 2/3 for Bumgarner, 1.03 ERA. Here's a 3-2 and a ground ball left side. Tough play by Duffy on the short hop. Nicely done. That wasn't easy at all. Cardinals have stranded 2. We played 2 against Michael Wacha, trying to become a 15-game winner. The last Cardinal to be the first in baseball to get to 15 wins. Joaquin Andujar. He did it in 84 and 85.
Yeah, but was it July 9th, something like that?
I don't think we understand how good he was for a short amount of time. He had 69 wins in 5 years. There's Tommy Pham, who takes over in center field for Jason Hayward.
Okay.
So we hope to get word on that. And a ground ball that's hit to second base. Colt Wong. Very tough afternoon yesterday for Colt Wong. Couple of errors that led to big innings and probably cost the team a win. And you can see he wears his emotions on his sleeve. And I said it yesterday, Al. He gets off to a good start. Expect a good game.
I heard you, and I agree with you. But we've seen more sensational play than, the two potential double play balls that he booted yesterday. But it's part of the maturing process. It's how to put that aside and try to continue and have it turn a negative into a positive. And I think we all expect that Colton's going to win some Gold Gloves in his future.
1 out and a 1-0. Fouled back by Kelby Tomlinson. He's wearing the glasses, and he actually has 20/30 vision. And he says he wears it in particular during night games. He says he has better focus, more sharpness, in his words, describing his vision. So that's why he wears the glasses, especially at night. He also could change into a suit and be your local accountant.
I thought you were going to say Clark Kent.
No Superman. No,
no
sir.
Superman?
Nope. Two and two the count. Third straight start at second base with the injuries they've had. That caught the home plate umpire. Off the glove, it looked like a Molina, and it catches Bob Davidson.
Bob's been around a long time. The umpire with the most seniority in this group. Breaking ball right there, and boy, got the best catcher in the world, and just goes off the top of his webbing and hits him right around that collarbone there. See the gentleman right there, their first base umpire, Hunter Wendelstedt, is the crew chief. And I'm sure Bob Davidson probably umpired with Hunter's father, Harry, at some point.
Jason Hayward, we get news he's removed because of left hamstring tightness. 3-2 pitch hit out of play. Hayward struck out to end the first, and that was after the fourth pitch. See him there stretching in his at bat, so he leaves the game with left hamstring tightness.
Yeah. I guess now you say you are glad you put Grichuk on the DL and bring up Tommy Pham. Already playing with a short bench.
You're Mike Matheny, you're like, well, what else could happen? Pretty good battle right now. Cardinals have dealt with so many injuries to key players this year. Hopefully that's not serious with Hayward, and he's just being cautious with it.
And sometimes just by alerting Mike and the coaching staff and the medical staff, you can ice it down, take care of it, and turn it into just a one-night affair instead of really hurting, going out there and trying to stay in the game and hurt it.
Good at bat by Tomlinson, and a 1-out walk. StubHub. You can get the StubHub app. Select your favorite teams, artists, and discover new ones too. It's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Don't overlook Chris Heston. He can swing the bat. Very good bunter too, with 5 sacrifices. And overall, the Giants folks tell us a very good athlete.
He's hitting over 200, so show him the respect he deserves. Carpenter way in on the grass at third. And
it's hit up the middle for a base hit. The hit and run was on. It splits through Peralta and Wong in a broken bat single for Chris Heston. The first hit for the Giants tonight.
Making contact, showing bunt, pulling the bat back, and up the middle. Wasn't hit particularly hard, but extremely effective. Now you have to pitch your way out of it, and Waka is capable of doing that. But Blanco has done a really nice job batting .400 since moved into the leadoff spot.
5-game hitting streak on the line here tonight. 9 for his last 20. Hold the runner at first. That's Reynolds. Carpenter even with the bag at third. Middle infield double play depth. Popped up, and Molina's got it. Thank you very much. Out number 2.
That is a real thank you very much. You know, I mean, right here, you're bunting to get your pitcher in a scoring position. And you just did the Cardinals a favor. Now Waka has to punctuate it by getting the third out before they can score.
And here is Matt Duffy, third baseman, fly to left, first time up. I wonder if it was a safety squeeze and somebody just didn't pick it up, because there was no break at all from Tomlinson at third.
That's why, you know, I mean, that's the only thing you could think is a safety squeeze, but it sure didn't look like the runner knew anything about it.
Oh, 2. This is where Michael Waka has been sensational this year, with runners on, opponents hitting .205 against him, with runners in scoring position under 200 this year. They are 0 for their last 19. Can he make it 0 for their last 20 against Michael Waka? Here she comes. Ground ball to third. Carpenter has it. The Giants will strand 2. Waka escapes near the third. Michael Waka, Matt Carpenter, Colton Wong for the Cardinals in the bottom of the third as Waka pitched out of a jam. No score. Michael is 6 for 39 this year. Sends a fly ball down the right field line. This ball is going to drop. I'm not sure where Pence was playing, and I'm assuming he's got to be playing in with Waka at the plate. If so, that ball's got to be caught.
Might have all heard the little footsteps as they got near the foul line there, but you would think, and kind of pulled up a little bit. Looks like a little frustration. New life. How many more pitches will you throw to Waka?
There's an 0-2. Heston leads all Major League rookies with 11 wins. Matt Duffy, the third baseman, leads all rookies in hits. Waka into center field, and the catch is made by Gregor Blanco. The last team that had rookies lead in hits and wins, the 1963 White Sox. Gary Peters was the AL Rookie of the Year, went 19-8. Pete Ward, he had 7 more hits than the National League Rookie of the Year, and that was Pete Rose back in 1963.
Who would have thought?
Isn't that something? Two very good players. As Carpenter looks at a ball. Pete Ward, his dad actually was a former NHL hockey player. Pete's been inducted into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, Chicago Sports Hall of Fame. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carpenter singled to right his first time up.
I was thinking about, Dan, you know, that ball that got by Molina and hit our home plate umpire in the chest. Remember, Gaylord Perry was pitching the game, and we had a rookie catcher for the Atlanta Braves, Buck Owens, who lived in the Cincinnati area from Ohio. And he was catching Gaylord Perry. Gaylord had a very sophisticated set of signals. The very first pitch, he did not get a glove on it and hit Ed Vargo, who was the senior umpire in the National League at the time, right square in the chest. I think for the next 8+ innings, Buck Owens would have done anything to get out of that game.
Is that right?
Oh, he just got chewed out every minute, every second.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2. And here's Carpenter now with 2 strikes. Matt has 111 hits this year. Not bad. 58 have come with 2 strikes. Only 2 other players, along with Carpenter, have had more than half their hits coming with 2 strikes. Brock Holt and Jose Iglesias.
And you know, normally when he gets a hit the first time up or early in a game, you can count on another multi-hit game. Been so good over the course of his young career, and the great start this year. Then he had those couple months that just seemed lost for a while, but he's back on track.
3-2. Carpenter hits it sharply to first. Belt steps on the bag. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo using the hashtag MWDataStrongFan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. With 2 outs, it brings in Colton Wong. Breaks his bat, pulls it foul, hitting just .216 since the All-Star break. 167 this month. This is truly, as you know, the dog days of summer. This is the grind, isn't it?
It really is, but I've got to admit that our summer has been
not too shabby.
It's not bad at all. I mean, there have been some hot days, but I think these wonderful cooler nights that we've been experiencing, we're not playing on the turf anymore. So I think it's a lot easier for the guys to stay hydrated and ready to play.
1-2.
You're talking about young hitters like a Colton Wong, who, you know, all of a sudden has had success, and then all of a sudden you try a little harder to make it even better, and you complicate things.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Arizona leading Pittsburgh and Garrett Cole. That's 4-1 in the 6th. Cole, along with Waka, trying to become a 15-game winner, as Al mentioned. He has not lost consecutive starts since 2013. And Cole lost his last start against the Cardinals. The 2-2. These two have been the elite of the National League, the class of the National League. 5 years have featured either San Francisco or St. Louis, representing the senior circuit for the World Series.
It's the Cardinals' year again.
Seems to be that way, doesn't it?
They do it on the even years, we'll do it on the odd.
Bruce Bochy just seems to be at his best in postseason play. Pulls all the right strings.
Whitey Herzog said his move last year was one of the greatest all time. When he brought in Bumgarner in what, about the 3rd inning? 3rd inning, and most people said, okay, he's going to come back. You bring him in, you know, like say the 7th or 8th. But Whitey said, look at with that shutdown Royals bullpen, the game was on the line right then and there. The Giants had to stop them, and Bumgarner did. And he thought that was one of the best moves of all time that was so radical the way people think today.
Here's Peralta, broke his bat, grounded out to short. Most people will save the 8th inning guy for the 8th inning and your closer for the late innings. Big lead by Colton Wong. Was 14 steals this year.
A lot of times the way you manage that way is all predicated on your guys being perfect. It's easy to go 7, 8, and 9 with 3 different guys if they're just lights out, shut down. And today, a lot of teams have guys that are pretty remarkable that can do that, but really have to manage when they don't.
Under Bruce Bochy now, they've had 10 postseason opponents. They've dispatched all of them. Had a good run at San Diego. But I agree with you, Al. You look at the stability of Righetti, Bochy for a number of years. Tim Flannery is a third base coach. Brian Sabian, general manager, has been there for a long time.
When Bochy came to the Giants, we all kind of wondered what was going on. But obviously he knew the state of the San Diego Padres, the team he left, and the future of the Giants.
Here's a 1-1. Late swing by Peralta. When Heston works on 4 days rest, 3-5 is his record. That's his status for tonight's game. 5 or more days rest, he is 8-2. Hardest pitch he's thrown tonight has been 90.
And in his no-hitter, he did not throw a pitch over 90.
And Peralta shoots it out to right field for a base hit. Wong on his way to third. On a 1-2 pitch, Peralta extends the inning to Tommy Pham.
Johnny's had a good homestand, batting over 350. But, you know, you'd just like to get him consistently swinging the bat. Colton Wong, easy for him to make that read and go on to third. And right now, Tommy Pham has a chance to do some damage. He replaced Hayward, who came out with that tender left hamstring. Remember, Pham had a quad injury in spring training. He was just on fire early in camp, had that quad injury and missed April and May of the regular season.
And he chops it left side. And a force play at second. Duffy to Tomlinson. Cardinals strand 2. We head to the 4th, and there's no score. That's pulled foul. Brandon Belt struck out his first time up. Walker has given up a base hit. Walked 1, struck out 3. Michael Wacha turned 24 back on the 1st of July. He's trying to become the first to get to 15 wins. And to do it at this age, this young, since Scott Erickson. Remember him? Right-hander with the Twins in 1991. And those that have done it at this age, it's really a who's who. Roger Clemens, Vida Blue, Brent Saberhagen, Greg Maddux. He's had a tremendous year. That swung on and missed, and a strikeout of Belt. And it brings in Hunter Pence. We understand, by the way, Al, you never know what you have to apologize for in live television. Sometimes it's bad language. You may see something that maybe you're not supposed to see. In this particular case, we need to apologize and tell you something's been fixed. Apparently there were 4 crickets inside one of our mic stations along the ballpark as Pence chases that pitch. And the crickets were having a little fun during the telecast tonight. And so it got a little annoying for the fans at home. And so we apologize for that, but we have taken care of the situation, if you know what I mean.
That almost sounds like something Jim Hayes needs to investigate, but I accept your apology.
Well, it was both of us apologizing to everybody else. I'm glad you accepted.
Accepted on behalf of everybody else.
Crawford bunting his way on. 2-out hit. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
Well, we've seen Matt Carpenter kind of foil the shift by dropping down a bunt. Turnaround's fair play. But if you want to do 2-out base bunt singles, I'm sure we'll probably let you have it. Just make sure you get the next guy.
Here's Susac. Grounded sharply into the shift. Colton Wong, who was near the bag at second base and actually took it on the shortstop side.
Susac was the Giants' top prospect according to Baseball America coming into the season.
Hector Sanchez was sent to AAA today to make room for Andrew. And he pops it up into shallow right. Steven Piscotty puts it away. Giants strand a runner. They've left 3 on tonight.
Chris Matheny says he's taken a wait-and-see approach on the possibility of Adam Wainwright pitching this year, but Mike told me that doesn't stop him from getting in a few friendly digs. Mike says whenever Wainwright tells him how he's running and doing things way ahead of schedule, Mike responds with the same words. I'll believe it when I see you hit your spots. Mike says it's all in fun because Wainwright is the last guy to need outside motivation. He says Waino is making great progress with his recovery and he's smart about it. Mike says he's not pushing too far. Dan, Mike says he'll wait and see where it leads.
Here's Yadier Molina. Jim, there was a skunk in L.A. We've had crickets here tonight. Any update on the crickets or the skunk?
Usually when Al makes a joke, we hear crickets. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Ooh.
Consider the source.
1-0 Cardinals. Molina. Oh! Right next to Big Mac Land, one of the longest home runs he's ever hit.
What they call elevating the ball. You could tell that was a blast just the way it took off the bat. The sound was distinct.
And a fly ball into right off the bat of Steven Piscotty for the out. That's only the 9th home run allowed this year by Chris Heston. Only the 9th.
He knew it. And the expression like, wow. He wowed himself. Just to the left of Big Mac Land up there in the 3rd deck and the ball's down below.
He doesn't hit him that far.
No.
Shift is on here for Moss, who singled past Tomlinson, the second baseman, first time up. Brandon Moss is about due.
What would that do for his psyche?
Yeah. Single to right. 3-0 3-0. Saturday night, the Cardinals turned Reynolds loose on a 3-0 pitch, hit a 3-run homer. Maybe they do that here to get Moss going.
I think you always have the green light, but you know, when Mike Matheny or any manager asks is just be selective. You know, look for a spot that you could really drive the ball, and if it's not there, even if it's in the strike zone, take it. But if it's there, pull the trigger.
And it's a walk. Second walk issued by Heston tonight. The other was Colton Wong. Want a great deal on Cardinals tickets? Fill up at Phillips 66 with 8 gallons or more. Now until September 24th, receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Reynolds bounced to third first time up. A short lead at first by Moss, and an 0-1 pitch. Heston, originally drafted by the Nationals, did not sign. Then he attended East Carolina University. Giants chose him 12th round of 2009 and was the 2012 Eastern Pitcher of the Year. But at one point he was designated for assignment. And where would they be without him? Obviously went unclaimed. Did not make the Giants roster out of spring training, and then added when Matt Cain went to the DL.
They said in spring training he really wasn't even on their radar. He did throw a good game late in spring against the Dodgers that kind of got people, well, maybe. He did start the final game of last season, but it really was, you know, really.
Moss was running and the pitch was fouled back.
Yeah, really kind of okay. We know who he is, what he is, but if we're all healthy, if the rotation is healthy, you know, he's still in the minor leagues. And he has really jumped on the opportunity and made the most of it.
One and two the count on Mark Reynolds. Outfield is deep. Just got a piece.
It looks like he short arms that breaking ball and almost at times gets underneath it, and you can see that puts a lot of stress on that elbow.
He only has 4 ground ball outs tonight. 51% of the outs that he's pitched in this year in the games, 51% have been ground ball outs, 4th highest in the league. He's given up a home run. Seen a few fly balls. 1-2 pitch inside.
Well, his last time out he lost, but he really didn't pitch that poorly. He allowed 1 run in 6 1/3 innings, a 2-0 loss to the Astros. But he did have a 5.40 ERA coming into this action in the month of August, and that was following a very good sub-2 ERA in July.
The 2-2. 3-2. Walker on deck.
This is where it's tough for a free swinger, kind of like Reynolds, batting in that 8 hole with a pitcher on deck. 3-2 pitch. You would have to assume it's probably going to be a breaking ball and probably something off the plate.
3-2. There goes Moss, and the pitch is taken for a ball. Back-to-back walks. June 9th at Citi Field, part of our AT&T U-verse Rewind. 13th start for Chris Heston. Hit 3 men, struck out 11, a 5-0 win, and a no-hitter. The 27 outs he recorded, just 2 in the air First no-hitter by a rookie since Clay Buchholz back in 2007. The AT&T U-verse rewind.
It was a little different offense that the Mets had that night than they have right now.
You think they get in? They've got enough?
I tell you, I mean, how many experts look kind of silly about their predictions of the Nationals? Don't raise your hand too high, but
good. I'm glad our cameras weren't on us. I raised my hand. They've lost 6 in a row now, and they are 4.5 behind New York.
I mean, but crazy things happen in years, by championship clubs. They just pull out games out of the hat, the magical affairs, and somebody.
Walker, self-preservation, not hustling down the line, and if he is, he's safe. Mishandled there by Heston.
The way I kind of look at it, Dan, it's his ball game. If he doesn't want to help himself get a couple extra runs, and that pitch up and in will get your attention, and you don't get a quick start out of the batter's box. Look at how that ball just running in on him, and he was, they got that fear, and that kind of set him track, trying to collect himself. But if that ball's not running in like that, and he gets it down and doesn't hustle, it's his game. He doesn't want the extra runs. Maybe he won't need them.
Carpenter is 1 for 2 in the single to right back in the first. Very good with runners in scoring position this year. Hitting .361, which is in the top 10 of the National League. Leads the Cardinals in that category. Lucky that didn't hit his fingers, too.
Right. Or foul it right into his face.
Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, we hope to visit with John Jay coming up. John will be with us, we hope, in inning number 5. Don't hear enough from John Jay, and hopefully we get the chance to visit with him. Runners at second and third, and a 1-1 pitch. Inning started with a solo home run by Yadier Molina. The Scotty flying to right. Back-to-back walks, Moss and Reynolds. The sacrifice by Walker. And a chance here with 2 outs for Matt Carpenter. The 2-1. 3-1. Three and 2. Carpenter trying for his 38th multi-hit game. Comes in 8th in the league in that category. Votto with 42 of them. Very good numbers with a full count. He's just comfortable hitting deep into counts with 2 strikes when the pressure's on.
The old story, the more pitches you see, the more likelihood you're going to get a mistake.
3-2. Inside, bases loaded. 3 walks in the inning. 4 tonight for Chris Heston.
1 man in front of you and 7 behind you, trying to do everything they can to help you get out of innings. And when you're walking people, and you mentioned it, 3 walks this inning, you get those guys standing around back on their heels.
And what a golden opportunity now for the Cardinals. Colton Wong, bases loaded, 2 outs. Went with the breaking ball for strike 1.
Good ahead breaking ball there.
Ooh, good cut. Oh, 2 the count. Wong walked back in the 3rd and also flied out to left. Off-speed pitch, but not held on to by Susak.
Cardinals through the first 3 innings have stranded 4 runners. We've got 3 out there right now. Got to come up with a timely hit and break this game open.
And the 0-2. Wong slaps it the other way, but foul.
Boy, that'd have been nice.
Duffy playing way off the line. By the way, some lightning in the area here at Busch Stadium.
Awful big flash attachment to a camera or lightning.
It's lightning. It's another 0-2. And an off-speed pitch. Wong strikes out. What's the deal? We want to get you back in the lineup.
I'm trying my hardest. Just working hard every day here with Adam Olson. And just been getting after in the weight room too, and just trying to get stronger, trying to get better so I can get out there as soon as I can.
Well, I do see you dressing out. You're at least running. You're catching the balls. You're throwing. What about just taking a bat, swinging it away, and trying to get that wrist at least acclimated to baseball activities?
Yeah, I've been taking swings in the cage, so everything's progressing. I'm on a program right now, so just trying to stick to it and get better every day.
How tough has this been for you?
Yeah, it's been a long season for me, but the most important part now is being healthy and getting out there and hopefully being able to contribute.
We have shots of you. It seems like nightly. You're one of the ringleaders down there having fun. I guess that's something that you have to do. When you're not playing in the game, you still got to keep up a beat. You got to be one of the good teammates down there and just make sure you're supportive.
Yeah, just trying to be supportive here and be positive. I know how hard this game is, and we got to keep things loose sometimes. But it's just part of what we do, and it goes back where we work hard all day, and then it's time for the game. It's time to play hard, but we're gonna have fun too.
Maybe the most important question you can answer is what is going on with Carlos Martinez and the Cubs.
I don't know about the Cubs. I'm not a fan of the Cubs. I'm not a fan of the Cubs. So.
You're not?
No, I'm not a fan.
Have you been one that's taken them down?
I don't know.
Will you go on the record and say that?
I haven't seen anything.
Does this guy ever stop down there, Carlos Martinez?
He doesn't. He's got a lot of energy.
Carlos has just left the building. He's headed to the clubhouse. He does have a lot of energy. And a guy that I think you probably enjoy watching him, watching some of these young guys, these pitchers that have come up, and they're just pitching so well night after night.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, our pitching staff is the reason where we're at right now. And we watch Walk and Carlos and Lance. I mean, all these guys lack. And, one after another just go out there day in, day and night and just doing it for us.
How does this team, and there's a base hit into center field, compare to some of the other teams you've been on? One was the World Championship team I think about the other that went to a World Series, but every year you've been here in St. Louis, you go to postseason play. How does this team compare to some of those?
Every team's different in each way, but this year I think you got to look at our pitching, and our pitching's just phenomenal, and we play good defense and being smart out there, and then just finding a way to win ball games, and we've been grinding them out, and that's what our team's about this year.
2011, one of the famous shots is seeing you race in from the outfield after that final out. What was that like for you? Just thinking back to 2011 and some of the great moments you've had here in town.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was one of those moments that you dream of as a kid, and it actually came true, and it actually happened. And just trying to, it was just we were in shock and we were so happy, and just running in there with Kreger, that was awesome.
And Daniel Descalso at third base, one of your good friends at that time.
Yeah. So that was cool, especially those guys that we came up in the minor leagues together, and we were really good friends. So that was cool.
The bunt is down by Heston. Sacrifice is good. By the way, speaking of Alan Craig, tell our fans how's he doing? Is he doing okay?
He's doing well.
He's hanging in there?
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, it was tough to see him go, and I know it's part of the business of playing professional sports. Guys get traded. You never like to see your buddies go, but I think we all saw so many great years from him and want to see him do well with Boston.
Yeah, he'll be fine, but he's doing all right, and it's just part of the business, but he'll be fine.
Good. John Jay is with us. Gregor Blanco is at the plate. Blanco has flied out to shallow center. Also on a bunt attempt with runners at first and third, one out. Bunted to Yadier Molina. Have you seen Molina hit a ball that hard, that far?
That was nice. That was real nice.
Yeah. You don't see that very often.
You don't see many people do that.
No.
So that was a nice one right there.
So 2 outs, runner at second. I'm going to give you a lot of credit. I've talked to many of the young players that have come up, and they say John Jay, even though we're all battling for playing time at a position, is one of the good guys with the Cardinals because he's always willing to help me in drills. For those that are not bilingual, you're able to translate for him. I know you helped out Oscar Taveras an awful lot. You're to be commended for that. I mean, you're a good teammate in that regard.
Thank you. Just trying to, it takes a lot to, win games, and I just want to be part of that. And we've obviously had a great run here, and looking forward to continuing that.
2-0 pitch, back to Walker. And he makes the play. John Jay is with us. We'll tell you about some of his charitable efforts making a difference off the field when we come back. Cardinals on top, 1-0. Boys and Girls Clubs of Miami-Dade. This is where you grew up, isn't it?
Yeah. Hometown right there.
What does that place mean to you?
Well, that's a place where, I learned to love the game of baseball, and a place where, since I was a little kid, I could, go there after school and stay busy and just have things to do instead of just being at home or doing who knows what. So.
And you could be safe there too, right?
Definitely. So that was a place where I spent a lot of time growing up, and like I said, I learned to love the game of baseball. I have great memories from there.
How many kids have been through that facility that have made it to the major leagues?
We got a lot of guys from there. I'd say, most of the kids that come from South Florida have played in that league and played in that park. So it's a pretty cool space.
I was talking to, I refresh my memory, who runs it? Joe? Who runs it? Help me.
Eddie.
Yeah. I was talking to Eddie, and he said there is nobody that gives back more to that place than John Jay. How much have you given back, and that also includes your time and your money, but tell us a little bit about what you've done to give back to that particular spot.
Yeah, we've been there for, they've had a Christmas drive, so we've been there with a bunch of kids, and every year I have my bowling event down in Miami, and all the benefits go to the Boys and Girls Club to make sure, for their after-school programs and any renovations they need, and just to make it a nice place for the kids. Hopefully it can be memorable for them like it was for me.
When I was there for a couple of days, I couldn't believe all the kids coming up. Wait a minute, is it really? Oh, they're all whispering. Is that John Jay? Is that what it's like for you when you're down there just signing autographs and helping the kids out?
Yeah, it is sometimes, especially when I'm at those places, and over at UM. I spend a lot of time there too. So those are the places where I grew up, and I wouldn't be here where I am today if it wasn't for those places.
And also your parents and your grandparents. Tell us where your grandparents are from and what your mom and dad do too.
Yeah, my grandparents were born in Cuba, and they migrated here after the revolution there. So that's where I learned what work ethic was all about. Just watching them having to come to a new country and learn a new language and start all over. So that was pretty cool and special for me, and as well for my parents.
It's amazing. And your mom is a school teacher, is that correct?
Yeah, my mom's a school teacher, and my dad's in the insurance business.
Unbelievable. Think about that. Coming over from nothing, having nothing.
Yeah, I think about it all the time, how there's so many crazy things that happen in the world, but especially my family having to pick up and leave. I think about it. I'm 30 now. I'm around their age when they just make the decision to get up and leave. So
does it give you the ultimate respect when you see guys like Chapman and Cespedes and Week and just throw out some of the things that may be associated with them? Just the fact that they come from Cuba, come from nothing, and now playing Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough decision where, you might not see your parents ever again, and your grandparents and your cousins and your friends, and being able to go to a place that you called home. So, it takes a lot of courage to leave a place like that, and, I'm happy for those guys.
You said that one of the things you wanted to talk about was Yadier Molina. This guy is the ultimate team leader, is he not?
This guy's incredible. That's the first guy, when people want to go home and other ball players ask me about guys, and, Yadi's the first guy that comes to mind.
And what do you say?
The guy's incredible. Just, he's how well he knows the game and situations, and, the feel his instincts and how much he wants to win, and he competes and he plays every day, and he never wants to come out of the lineup. I go on and on about him, his leadership, and, he gets along with everyone. So, Yadi's one of those guys that, it's, I feel he's, underrated in the fact of everything that he does.
You mentioned that you help out a lot of the young guys. Who was real helpful for you when you got here?
Oh, I have a lot of great guys. My first couple of years, Skip Schumacher was great with me, and so was Yadi and Albert, and then later on, Carlos Beltran was great. So I've been pretty lucky and fortunate to play with guys, and Rafael Furcal. So I got to learn a lot from all these veterans, and it's something that was was very special to me in my career.
Bruce Bochy may go to his bullpen. It looks like he is. And what do you see here from Yadier Molina?
Well, he's doing well. He stayed back on the ball. He went straight down to it, and he got in the sweet spot of the bat right there.
Not many, as John said, make it up to Big Mac Land or that area. Molina the walk. John Jay is with us. And we'll step aside. 1-0 Cardinals. As John Jay is with us, here's Stephen Piscotty. Yasmero Petit, 33rd appearance in our Chevy call to the pen in relief of Chris Heston. And a runner at first base is Yadier Molina. So young guy like Piscotty comes up. What do you tell him?
Just go out there and play his game. He's been around us in spring training, and he's seen what this is all about, and he's done a great job of just getting here early, doing his stuff, and just being a professional. So he's been great, and he's been playing well. So
he has been playing well. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Stephen Piscotty. Off the end of the bat, and a base hit into right field. Piscotty is 1 for 3 tonight, brings in Brandon Moss. How do players approach this time of year? We were talking about it earlier. You're in the middle of August. Now, it's easier to come to the ballpark, I'm assuming, when you're up by 5 games or in a pennant race, but what's it like, the dog days of playing in this town, especially with the heat?
Yeah, I think it's something as you go on, you start learning how you have to back off a little bit, maybe, not take as many swings, in the weight room, maybe cutting back down a little bit, and, just really listen to your body and how you're feeling, not going out there and, BP, it's 95 degrees out there, so, maybe as an outfielder, I'd like to shag out there, but maybe not do as much as I normally will, and just trying to monitor that.
And I hear you say that, and I've been watching you. You've been wearing a hood when it's 100 degrees chasing fly balls.
I like it hot. No, just just going out there, staying in shape, and like I said, I like to get out there, get hot. That way, when I come back, I won't feel so bad out there.
Are you ready for the Miami Hurricanes in football season?
I am. I'm excited for that.
How are the Canes going to be this year?
They'll be all right. We got a quarterback coming back, Brad Kaya. I like him, young guy. But we should be all right.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on. The next 2, Moss hit out of play. So a guy like Brandon Moss comes into this situation. Do you think it floors him? He's been around the league, but this is a unique place. 45,000 people every night, just about.
Yeah, it's every night, and he's pumped up. I know he was extremely happy when he got traded over, and it's been great to have him here.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Moss. With 2 runners on. Second baseman Tomlinson is at the on-field grass. In the air. Right field. Pence back, and Moss again flies out just shy of the warning track. John Jay, get healthy. Get better.
Thank you.
Miss seeing you.
See you.
Thanks for coming out.
All right.
Class act, John Jay. It's 1-0 as we head to the 6th. The booth. getting closer. We'll see him in September as well. Never stop improving. Our lows never stop improving. Michael Wacha, 250 or more strikeouts in his first 50 career starts. Lynn, Alan Bennis, Michael Wacha, Dean, Carlton, Gibson, Brolio. What a list. I mean, that's some pretty big names in Cardinals history.
I think one thing people have to remember is after the 70s, strikeouts became more prevalent. It used to be before, and like a two-strike approach, where hitters would swing away, and then when they got 2 strikes, they tried to put the ball in play. You would have guys that they struck out 100+ times. They stayed in the minor leagues, and then after the 70s, then it started getting to the point where incorrectly hitters started saying, well, what's the difference? An out's an out. Well, an out, if you put the ball in play, good things can happen. Strike out, nothing good happens.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Matt Duffy. And a base hit out to left. Over to get it. Moss backhands it. Duffy is held to a single. Labor Day, Monday, September 7th. Get the third bobblehead in the announcer series featuring Hall of Fame broadcaster Harry Carey. 25,000 fans, 16 and older, receive the Harry Carey bobblehead with voice chip of his epic call of Stan the Man's 3,000th hit, courtesy of Maryville University. And tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions. Your good friend Ted Simmons inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame this past weekend, and I gave a stat about Teddy where he had more walks than strikeouts from both sides of the plate.
Exactly. And it wasn't even close. But, Ted was a prime example of, he was a line drive hitter. He wasn't a big home run hitter, but he was a tremendous hitter. As far as I was concerned, he was as pure a hitter in the National League.
Base hit for Belt into center.
And he also was believed, and if you ever watched Ted Simmons take batting practice, and it all changed after McGuire, where guys used to work on things. They used to work on their deficiencies, and in his case, he hit down on the ball. He touched on a little bit, but he would take the ball the opposite field and just almost accentuate hitting down on the ball. And he worked at making himself a great hitter. But he also hit for a high average because when he got to 2 strikes, he was going to make sure he put the ball in play.
Said Matty Alou was big in changing his stance, and Joe Torre with a 2-strike approach.
Right. Joe Torre, in 1971 when he was the MVP, all he wanted to do was be cognizant of the inside pitch. He fouled that pitch off, but a lot of people were throwing the ball away from him, and so he'd take that one and just punch it to the opposite field. And I say punch it with a 363
right. Average,
and hit about 25 home runs, and I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 137 RBIs. So it wasn't just punch and Judy, but you had guys. Rico Cardi was a big Dominican.
Slowly hit towards second. The tag. Yes, it's a double play. What a play by Colton Long. Tagging out Belt, throwing to first and getting the double play.
We talked about Colton, that he's going to put more spectacular plays than the couple errors he made yesterday's ball game. And here he comes in. The fielder has to allow you a chance to field the ball, but it looked like he got him, or they were going to say that he ran out of the baseline. No, he got him. Tagged him on the rear end, and then he completes the double play with the throw to first base.
What sold me is the fact that he had no argument whatsoever by Brandon Belt.
And a little conversation here. I think this is important with, Brandon Crawford with 19 home runs and 72 RBIs versus the rookie on deck. Not that you're going to necessarily, just intentionally passing, but you're going to be smart, and you're going to, want to attack him in a certain way, and hopefully he'll get himself out.
The issue with that, if you pitch around him, Bruce Bochy could go to his bench and it's Buster Posey time.
And that's part of the equation too. Maybe they're sitting there reminding Walker of that fact, because it would be catcher for catcher.
Walker had 74 pitches, 2 outs, runner at third, 19 of 23 first pitch strikes. Walker has gone at least 6 innings in 7 of his last 8 starts. Last start matched up with Garrett Cole in Pittsburgh. 6 innings, 2 runs, and the 0-1.
We had a couple starts before that you started wondering and worrying, is he hitting the wall? But then he came back out that last time and beat Garrett Cole.
He is 7-1 against teams above 500 this year. The fly ball, left center, Pham won't get there, over his head, and Brandon Crawford has tied it up. A 2-out double.
Molina set up outside, gets that good sinker down there, and the ball gets away from him. And then he tried to go inside, and the ball's down and away, and good piece of hitting. He's slicing it, coming off the bat, will keep on going away from Pham. It was so far over his head, he had no chance of catching it.
Andrew Susac with 2 outs, and Crawford, the runner at second base, representing the go-ahead run.
Susac missed 26 games with that right thumb sprain.
Walker is due up second for the Cardinals. You mentioned this earlier, how the Giants had done with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. One of the best in baseball, 289. The average for most teams, 231. And a ground ball that's hit too short. Taken there by Peralta. And he makes the play. A 2-out double by Brandon Crawford. His 73rd RBI. Giants have tied it up. And the first pitch is taken low. Mark Reynolds has walked and grounded out. 0 for 1 tonight. And we'll see Michael Wacha, Matt Carpenter. Petit, second inning of work. As Reynolds skies one. Popped up to the right side. Brandon Belt. That'll bring rain. You cannot hit a ball much higher than that. I know, you're pointing your finger. Don't say rain. I know. It's the reverse jinx.
Right. I knew you wouldn't want to do that to yourself.
And for that, Al, this one I sincerely do apologize to you for. Before I was apologizing for the crickets. And now this one's directed.
About the rain?
Yeah, totally at you.
It's good.
Here's Michael Wacha. Wacha has sacrificed and fly to center. But these two teams are just, you know, they do the little things right. They pitch well. Fun to watch.
And oftentimes when these teams get together, it's somebody that fails to do a fundamental or that commits a costly error that will decide a ball game.
Kathy Boyd and Marianne, happy birthday, watching tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. The pitch taken low and outside. 1-2 on Michael Wacha. They're in the top of the 8th. The Diamondbacks leading Pittsburgh 4-1. Vivian Clark turns 5 today. Happy birthday to Vivian. Her uncle, Keith O'Brien, works in our truck and does a great job. Add another unique throwback jersey to your collection on Saturday, September 5th. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home an adult gray throwback jersey courtesy of AT&T. For tickets, visit Cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Carpenter. With 2 on, he drew a walk to load the bases for Wong back in the 4th, who struck out. Well, it's nice to hear from John Jay. So looks like John could be back at some point in September.
Well, John has been such an integral part of the ball club, and I don't think we give him enough credit. And remember, he was the only 300 hitter the Cardinals had last year. I almost wondered if he wishes he would have not having that surgery.
You don't want to say it's been a lost year, because sometimes a year can be defined in October with what a player does.
What you do down the stretch. And
2 outs, nobody on, and a 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed by Carpenter. Petit has come in. Gave up a base hit to Piscotty. Then got Moss to fly out to deep right. Reynolds popped out. Walker struck out. And now a 2-1 pitch to Carpenter. Full count delivery.
Teat hasn't looked quite like a guy that's struggled his last 13 relief appearances with a 5.32 ERA.
Petit is from Venezuela, the same hometown as shortstop Luis Aparicio. Three-two. Took some off it and strikes out Matt Carpenter. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 31-19. The Giants are a game above 500 against winning teams. Arcia in the driver's seat. First pitch popped up by Justin Maxwell, whose dad is a U.S. Navy dentist. You say, okay, well, what's the big deal? He was the presidential dentist for Bill Clinton and George Bush and their families. Mom also a part of the Navy, and now Justin was a non-roster invitee for the Giants, playing outfield for San Francisco. Here's the 0-2. Here's a 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Just a pretty smart kid.
Pitch was up and he got away with it. Hammered on the ground to third, and Carpenter makes the play.
Justin Maxwell chose had a cumulative grade point average of 4, and chose Maryland on a baseball scholarship over Harvard.
Here's Tomlinson. He is walked and singled. Good breaking ball from Michael Wacha. Walker's so good at home, 13-3 in his young career, with a 2.40 ERA here at Busch Stadium. You think about John Lackey this year at home in his career, Jaime Garcia here at Busch Stadium. Open up at home if you get to postseason play. There's some tough choices.
I just think it just reflects about the great atmosphere here. You know, every night you got 40,000. It just, you know, just instill confidence. Fans come here expecting to see you win, and so you do win. You know, the players take the field with that type of attitude. Allison from Elgin, Oklahoma.
Here's a 1-2. Broken bat, and it's popped up. Colton Wong puts it away. Well pitched on both sides for the most part, especially looking at Michael Wacha. Heston, the starter in our Mazda game summary for the Giants, 4 2/3. Crawford 2 for 3 with a key double and 2 outs an inning ago. Wacha still in this game, and then Yadier Molina, long home run to left. And for Molina, that was home run number 3, RBI number 44. That's your Mazda game summary. This is Ryan Lawless, spelled Lollis, pronounced Lawless. Would it surprise you that Michael Wacha has not thrown a pitch into the 8th inning this year?
Yes.
See if that continues tonight. That's off the end of the bat. Little squibber. Carpenter hurries up and makes the play. Pitch number 93 from Michael Wacha tonight. Time to stretch.
Jeremy Affeldt will appear for the 43rd time. He's a high ERA. He struggled with runners in scoring position for a while. But he's been around a long time and a very good lefty reliever.
Always have liked him, huh?
Yes, really have. He leads all active left-handed pitchers with now his 765th appearance. Did miss 20 games with a left shoulder strain.
Let's take it upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is our Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Juan Peralta and Pham for St. Louis against Jeremy Affeldt. Third pitcher used by the Giants tonight.
Opponents are just batting 105 off of Affeldt in his last 5 games. Had some trouble with lefties. They've had just a shade under 300, but lately he's been getting them out too.
The 2-1 pitch. Hit the other way. Crawford has a very good arm and shows it off. He is some kind of player. I know we've been talking a lot about him, but he deserves it.
He does. And once he set himself right there, then you saw the cannon come out. Playing up the middle, so he has to go deep into the hole at the edge of the grass, and throws out a speedy runner pretty well. Looks like Bochy will make another pitching change.
So that'll be it. Or right-hander Hunter Strickland out of the pen. Look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Hunter Strickland. Remember, he gave up 6 home runs last postseason. He has allowed just 1 this entire season.
And it's all about fastball command. Apparently, over the weekend, Marichal was in San Francisco, and they had one of the statues giveaways in his honor. And apparently, he brought up Strickland to the broadcasters with the Giants and just said, "I love his fastball. Once this kid gets fastball command, then he'll be a premier, reliever." I wanted that pitch up, but he's got the great fastball, and just learning how to get ahead of hitters, how to use it to your advantage. Little fingertip pressure here and there, get it to move different ways. Can't teach the arm speed.
Here's a 1-2. Back to Strickland off the bat of Peralta. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photos to MW Data Strong Fan. Presented by T-Mobile. How about that? You come to the ballpark and you get to get a photo with the cat?
Man, it doesn't get any better than that.
Al, I know you've had some great success in your career.
But nothing like having a picture with a cat. We don't even have one with him.
No. And we've tried.
We have, and he's refused.
Multiple times. What do you think, 10, 11 times over the last year alone?
Oh, especially after we picked up a check for him, and then we say, can we earn a picture with you now? Nope.
We picked up the check, and one time he said, "I'm going to the bathroom," and the next thing we knew, he was gone.
Took our card, too.
The things we do, Al. The things we do. Strickland comes in. Nice work. Come on up here, Cat. Up like a pick. It is our Chevy call to the pen. Kevin Siegrist in for St. Louis. I know you were surprised by it. I'm surprised by it. Maybe you are at home, but Michael Wacha has not thrown a pitch into the 8th inning this year. The bullpen, by the way, in his starts has been exceptional. 1.44 the bullpen for Michael Wacha when he pitches.
Yeah, usually he's gotten a lot of run support, but one of the better ERAs doesn't always need it. Wacha is looking, and if the bullpen, he won't get it, his 15th win, but when he starts, the Cardinals are 17-5. You put that together with Martinez's 18-4, they're 35-9 when the two kids pitch.
Pretty good.
Pretty darn good. Turn it over to the bullpen this late. It's very difficult to win on the road, especially when you get into extra innings. So the Cardinals are in good position now with a lot of healthy arms.
1-2 on Gregor Blanco.
Watch the curveball here in reaction. He's bending away from it and called a strike. And it makes so much sense what the Cardinals did at the trade deadline, acquiring a couple late inning relievers. You had Manus and Siegrist on fumes. Rosenthal didn't have quite as many appearances.
Strike out of Blanco.
But he throws so many pitches in his outings that, he would get worn out. And you're worried about the guys, pitching day after day after day in such close ball games. No pressure or no release. And all of a sudden now you put a couple more veteran closers down there. Now Mike Matheny's got a lot of guys to choose from when he gets late in the game, and when he does have a tired Rosenthal, he has other good options.
You think about spreading the wealth a little bit too in the last month and a half or so you're not always going to Manus and Siegrist and Rosenthal.
And you got guys like Cishek and Broxton that understand the team concept. You know, they would much rather be playing with a championship club than playing in Milwaukee or playing in Miami. So they're more than willing to be eighth inning guys also.
It's Matt Belisle, by the way, on the right. Spoke to him yesterday, and he is hoping to come back before this season is through. A fly ball lifted into right. Belisle, kind of the forgotten man, if you will. And he did a nice job.
Did, and he will. You know, I mean, he's on a 2-year contract, so you got Cardinals. You know, also, you know, one of the things you really have to admire about John Mozeliak is when he picks up some of these guys too. It's not only for this stretch run, but it's also for the future. Think about Brandon Moss. You know, another year removed from his offseason hip surgery that he had a year ago. Maybe that'll be the key to him getting, you know, his strength back and overcoming some of the bad, you know, bad habits you pick up when you're trying to favor an injured part of your body.
Ask Peter Borges about those hips.
That's it. You know, and you know, even though he had 15 home runs and 50 RBIs with Cleveland before the trade, this is a bigger ballpark.
He's finding that out, unfortunately.
It'll happen, though.
4 or 5 I can recall here in St. Louis. There was 4 against Colorado. He's hit one just about to the track tonight. He just can't buy a hit. By the way, Kevin Segrist has not faced the Giants.
Really?
The only Giant he has faced is Aoki, as Belt pops it up. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Molina, who is homered tonight, will lead it off when we come back on Fox Sports Midwest. His home run, a solo shot back in the 4th. The Cardinals have stranded 9 in this game. His home run to the left of Big Macland. The longest we've seen off his bat. Strickland still in, the hard-throwing right-hander. First pitch popped up. Shallow left field. Crawford called off, and the catch made by Justin Maxwell. Brings in right fielder Stephen Piscotty. Struck out on a check swing back in the 2nd. He's flied to right. Singled off Yasmero Petit. Only one game this year that Piscotty at home has not hit in. He's done a really nice job. Piscotty, that's slicing into right center. Blanco can't get it. To the wall. Steven on his way to 2nd. On his way to 3rd. 1-out triple. Stephen Piscotty here in the 8th.
You know, thinks there's some people in the Bay Area that are clapping for Piscotty also, the Stanford graduate. But he has been a real shot in the arm for the Cardinals. Everybody knew he had talent. Everybody knew that, you know, he was the man next in line waiting to come up to the big leagues. But they didn't want to bring him up until there was a chance to play him on a daily basis. And that happened when, you know, Holiday was not, you know, got hurt for the 2nd time. Prior to that, it was trying to get more production as a first base. So they're going to walk Moss, turn it over to Reynolds.
Playing the percentages, Reynolds 7 for 19 in terms of bringing that runner home from third base, less than 2 outs. Be sure to catch Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1 coming up tonight. All the latest from football camps, Major League Baseball, and college football. Fox Sports Live coming up tonight. The big hit by Piscotty. Can Reynolds bring him in? A one-out triple by Steven Piscotty. He stands at third. The intentional walk to Brandon Moss. Piscotty, by the way, his first ever Major League triple after his first ever Major League home run yesterday.
Last few weeks he's got a bunch of firsts. You got a strikeout pitcher on the mound.
First pitch to Reynolds. Taken for a ball. You can see where Susak is setting up outside, and he missed his spot way in. Ball one.
Also see where Tomlinson, the second baseman, is playing. We've seen Reynolds hit more balls to right field as he's trying to fight some of the defense and also make contact.
1-0 is yanked foul.
Hanging breaking ball. He was way ahead of it. He saw that and his eyes lit up.
Outfield arms, Blanco good. Pence unorthodox but not bad. Maxwell good and left.
To look at how deep the outfielders are playing, I don't think there's any way they could throw out Piscotty.
This big crowd ready to erupt. Game one, Cardinals and Giants in this all-important series for both teams. The 1-1 to Reynolds. Now 1-2. If you're Reynolds, Al, are you thinking, does he even try to go back with a breaking ball that he just hung and not even mess around? Or does he go with the fastball and say, here it is?
Well, I think when he go with your best pitch, and your best pitch is fastball. You don't get beat with a secondary pitch. You make sure you throw the fastball away is where I would say he wants it.
Here's a 1-2. Peter Borges has moved to the on-deck circle.
Now we talk about fastball command, and he misses again, but that's one of those where you kind of say it's effectively wild. You know, you miss up and in, and the guy can't get a full swing on it, and it just kind of works to the advantage of the pitcher. But this is where I'm saying this year we've seen Reynolds make a slight adjustment with 2 strikes, where at times he'll just try and put that ball in play and punch it to the right side.
The 1-2 pitch to Reynolds.
See right now they're breaking balls off the plate. You know, he can kind of spit at that. If he throws him a breaking ball that's a good, good strike, so be it. But he's got to be geared for the fastball. You kind of feel like he can't throw it for a strike. And for a breaking ball though.
2-2. Reynolds pops it up and out of play. So he stays alive.
That was a much better breaking ball.
Sure was.
And he got a little piece of it. I think a lot of clubs just kind of feel like they can throw the fastball by Reynolds if it's up and away. They's kind of cheating on the pitch on the inside part of the plate and jerk it. And that's why I say that little wrinkle where he's starting to hit the ball right field kind of changes that pattern.
2-2 pitch to Mark Reynolds. Here she comes. Reynolds bounces it to Crawford. Steps on the bag and throws it away. The Cardinals take the lead. 2-1 St. Louis.
Give Brandon Moss some credit on that one. Brandon Moss went in hard but clean. And Crawford, by trying to do it himself, allowed Moss to get right on top of him. And he slides hard into him, disrupting the throw, giving the Cardinals a lead and not allowing them to complete the double play. Watch Moss.
The question would be, is he better off, speaking about Crawford, to flip that baseball to Tomlinson to give him the chance to turn two? All for naught now as Piscotty scores the go-ahead run here in the eighth.
I understand what you're saying. I understand Tomlinson. There, a little question with his defense. So a guy that is such a good shortstop, he must have believed that that was his best option to take it himself.
Really in between on that play. Do you take it yourself or do you flip it to your second baseman who's on the bag waiting, sitting there saying, I'm ready, flip it to me? Here it is.
Well, see, it's a short little hop, and so he's got to get his balance. His second baseman is there. You look at it, he'll go, his decision was wrong.
I don't think he ever really had great control out of the glove either, as Reynolds is off to the bag, and the tag quickly by Crawford. Tremendous tag in the hands by Brandon Crawford. So Reynolds puts the ball in play. Matheny and the Cardinals will take a look at it, and by putting it in play, good things happen. What happened is a Cardinals 2-1 lead. Is he safe?
That look, it's hard to tell. I'd say, have to say he's out. And that one too. You can't tell when he tagged him, but.
And that'll be it. Cardinals will turn it over to Rosenthal. Ninth inning. Game one. Cards and Giants coming up 2-1. St. Louis on top as Piscotty has scored the goal. Pham moves to left. This is Hunter Pence. Borges in center field. Stephen Piscotty is in right, and Rosenthal now in the seventh position in the lineup and takes over on the mound. Our Chevy called to the pen. 1-0 pitch to Pence. Driven out to center field. It's well hit, and that'll stay in the ballpark. Borges makes the catch on the track. He squared it up, didn't he?
He squared it up, but it stays in the big ballpark. Peter Borges just went in, calls it in. Reason we bring this Rosenthal in is the ball off the bat of Piscotty just eludes him for a triple, and then Brandon Crawford tries to complete the double play. Moss gets on top of him, forces the errant throw. Piscotty scores, and the Cardinals have a 2-1 lead and one out.
Here's Crawford, who has an RBI tonight. Anytime I see Gregor Blanco go for a ball at right center, I think about the perfect game pitched by Matt Cain in one of the great catches in a perfect game by Gregor Blanco in right center at AT&T Park.
Yep.
This case maybe trying to do a little too much. That's pulled foul. Maybe he plays it off the wall and plays the carom. He probably is held to a double.
Or if you're going to commit that far, why not dive?
0-2 here on Crawford.
Rosenthal has 84 saves and ties him for fifth all-time on the franchise record list.
The margin to win a game as that catches Molina is so slim in the major leagues. Crawford's decision, do you flip to second base or not? Blanco, do you go for it or not? And now it's a 2-1 St. Louis lead as that caught the wrist of Yadier Molina.
Bare hand, the wrist, all those things, but people don't realize too what beating your glove hand takes. A little too high up the ladder.
Remember when Rosenthal, Segrist, these hard throwers appeared in 2013? It was the first time that Molina had to actually use a second glove. Usually one glove will last him for the year. 1-2 pitch, and he got him. A strikeout of Crawford, and there's two away. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Susak, final hope. Posey still on the bench.
It's also a final in Pittsburgh. They lose 4-1.
You have to think that Bruce Bochy is waiting to use Buster Posey if someone gets on and has a chance to put them on top with one swing of the bat. You have to get there first.
And Posey's been swinging a hot bat, but they say he's physically a little worn out right now.
One ball, one strike. 1-2.
Rosenthal gets this save, be number 85. That's fifth best in history, but the 48th, the most at this ballpark in Cardinal history. You break a tie with Ryan Franklin for fifth most with the 85th, and his 48th career save at Busch Stadium 3, most all time.
One-two pitch in the dirt. 2-2. Posey is moved now to the on-deck circle.
The only way he comes up is if he does represent the go-ahead run. You don't want to face him? You don't have to. Get this hitter out.
2-2 pitch. Old-fashioned hardball is coming up. Walked him. Buster Posey will hit, representing the go-ahead run.
That's why he held him back, waiting for this opportunity.
Posey has had a season that has flown under the radar, and it has been outstanding. Pinch hitter, or rather the pinch runner now, is Perez, and Buster Posey, the pinch hitter for San Francisco. Posey is 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter this year. 16 home runs, 78 RBIs.
Never faced Rosenthal. Hard to believe too, isn't it?
Pitch, fly ball, right center. Just enough room. Borges has it. Cardinals hold on. 2-1 the final. 6 in front of Pittsburgh. What a ball game tonight here in St. Louis.
Once again, great starting pitching. Better relief pitching, and the timely hitting just came through. Nice win for the Cardinals. And they do it against an outstanding ball club, the San Francisco Giants.
Michael Wacha, our Budweiser player of the game. 7 innings, 6 hits, 93 pitches. Budweiser player.